El acceso al agua potable es esencial para la supervivencia del ser humano. Sin embargo, existe una crisis en varias áreas rurales de Latinoamérica, como en Guatemala. Global Partners Running Waters es una organización sin fines de lucro que tiene como misión el construir relaciones de colaboración para proporcionar recursos a zonas rurales que sufren de necesidades tan básicas como el agua, salud y alimentos. Conozcamos más sobre esta organización en el siguiente reportaje de Salvador Gómez.
Right? Yeah, I saw my mom and I know basic.
Or somebody, with a wheelchair.
Somebody was because of a lot of crime.
Yeah.
I'm Sister Jan. I'm a school sister of Notre Dame, and I'm the executive director of Global Partners Running Waters. Global Partners Running Waters began with a dream. I had lived in Guatemala for 12 years, and I experienced not having running water. Our goal is to build relationships, not only here with each other, but between North and South. And we do that mainly through collaboration on water, food, and health projects in Latin America. Global Partners Running Waters began shortly after I returned from my 12 years of living in Guatemala. And when I lived in Guatemala, there were times when we had no water, or times when we only had 2 hours of water a day. So when I came back to the States, I knew that for me, water was one of the most important things in Guatemala. I gathered a group of people together just to do some dreaming. And Diane Henke happened to be in the group. It was Jubilee year, and she wanted to give back.
I'm Diane Henke, and I've been working with Global Partners Running Waters since its inception. I had been given some money from my father-in-law when he passed away. And it was Jubilee year, and I knew Sister Jan, and I knew she had gotten back from Guatemala, and so I said, what would you do if I gave you some money for the Guatemalan people? And she said, well, why don't you come to Guatemala, and then you can decide for yourself. So Jan and I went down to Guatemala, which was a life-changing experience, and I came back realizing that water was what I wanted to do, and so we then did a water project in Sheba Dos, and then started the organization.
She had a check for the village of Sheba. The entire village was able to have water because of her generosity. And you just can't imagine the difference that makes in the lives of people when for the very first time in your life, you don't have to walk 2 or 4 hours to go carry water or carry the family's laundry down to the river and wash clothes and come back. But all they had to do was turn on their faucet and have water. So that really did make a big difference.
Buenos días, mi nombre es María Salam Pereval. Quiero decirte algo. El agua, lo que pasa es que no tengo agua en mi casa y estamos sufriendo. Y tengo mis hijas y está sufriendo, cargando agua. El agua está muy lejos y el camino está muy subiendo y ya no aguanta de cargar agua.
Typical family. Normally we'll walk anywhere from 2 to 3 hours in one direction just to get the water, and then you got to walk back. Typical family would be, say, they get up in the morning and it would be the woman and the kids, and they would take that little hike every morning and bring in water for the family to use. Now you have to think how much can, say, a woman and little kids carry. Can't carry that much.
¿Y el agua que utiliza usted en la casa, cuántas veces acarrea al día?
4 veces por la mañana y 3 veces en la tarde.
First of all, the lack of water, the lack of good water, highly affects a child reaching the age of 5. For quite a while, over 25% of the young kids would die, generally due to diarrhea, stomach ailments, things like that, just by having poor water. Whole function of Global Partners to start with was to bring water into the village. We use a gravity feed system, which means we can run water 5-10 kilometers, and you can gain 10 feet in elevation. You can run those pipes for miles through valleys and everything. So when we bring water into a community, it just helps something tremendous. What these are the kids from Chinique. You can tell by the girls' uniform.
Okay.
Italians you got walking.
And have you been to Guatemala as well with Jan?
No, but he knows Mexico.
June 3rd, a group of 16 of us went to Guatemala with Sister Jan of Global Partners Running Waters, and it had always been my dream to have an international service trip for high school students. And I think what was really amazing for us is seeing all the different projects that Global Partners had done down there. My students, after having the experience and observing the scarcity of water, I think it really changed them. I think it changed them the way they look at water, to be more resourceful, to be more careful, to be better stewards of our environment. I think to be more compassionate and reach out to other people who don't have something so simple that makes, I mean, it's essential to life.
Antes de que cuando no tengo agua potable en la casa, se cuesta un poco cuando me voy al río, damos cuenta si vamos a traer agua, toman las vacas o los animales, después nosotros llegamos allí, nos venimos y tomamos agua sucia, en cambio ahora tomamos agua limpia.
I would invite our audience, especially those in the audience who have a heart, who have compassion, especially for children, to come with us on one of our trips and see the reality. It makes not only parents and students grateful for all that we have here, but many people are looking for a way to give back.
It's very easy to read about things, very easy to get statistics, very easy to see things on TV. But until you actually experience it, you really don't fully understand it. When you meet people, they'll tell you, how come you come to visit me in my village? How come you're providing that for me? Sometimes it is hard to explain. It's that we feel that, hey, we have it really pretty good, and we're going to share what we have with you.
We're all about relationships. It's one thing to have lots of material wealth, and it's another thing to have lots of other kinds of wealth, like spiritual wealth, community wealth, and it's a sharing. But the biggest thing, I think, is relationships, that actually meet the people, get to know people, become friends with people so that you truly know their heart and they know yours.
Estamos sanos, estamos limpios, lavamos, bañamos cuando nosotros queremos y eso me siento muy feliz porque ya tengo agua potable en mi casa.